Hi guys, this is the third lecture of my Python for non-programmers lecture series, and this lecture is about control flow statements. So in this lecture we'll talk about if statement, while loop, for loop, and functions. These are very important statements in Python and they control the flow of execution. So let's move on to if statement. The basic syntax of if statement is: first you specify the condition, if condition, then colon. From the next line or after indent, you specify the statement to execute. If you have any other condition, you specify it with elif statement, elif keyword. And after colon, on the next line after indent, you specify the statement. For all the other conditions, you use else, colon, and then the statement. So let's use an if statement for a practical example. Let's create two variables, my debt size and my savings. We'll use these two variables in if condition part. So to write an if statement, you begin with if keyword, then condition. Our condition is my savings is greater than my debt size. We end the line with colon. And then when we enter, Python automatically makes indent for us. Then we type the statement, which is print you have more funds than your debt. We have another condition, which we specify by elif keyword. In this condition, we just compare my savings to be equal with my debt size. And then on the next line, we write the statement which is print you have exactly the same funds as your debt. Recall that our debt size is less than the savings. So for all the other conditions, we specify by else statement. Of course, ended with colon. After writing the statement, let's run to get the result. So here we get the result, you have more funds than your debt. So let's also specify if statement with multiple conditions on a single line. For that purpose, we create two another variables, hasTicket, which has a value of yes, and isAdult, which has a value of yes. And we test on the first line of if statement whether these two variables have yes values. And we combine them with AND keyword. You see here the statement, which is like if you have a ticket and you are adult, you can enter the club. For all the other conditions, the statement says go away. If we run the code after commenting out the previous print statements not to get mixed, we get the following result. You can enter the club. There are cases in which using multi-line if statement is not a comfortable choice. For these cases, Python offers us so-called ternary if operator, the basic syntax of which is you type the variable name, then equals, then statement if the condition is true, otherwise another statement for which the condition is false. So let's test the if ternary expression in IDE. For that purpose, we create a message variable which equals the ternary if expression. We want message variable to have the value enter the club if hasTicket variable has a yes value. Otherwise, the message variable will have go away string value. Let's print to get the result. Printing message variable after commenting out other print statements gives us the result enter the club, which is what we expected. So our next topic is while loop, the basic syntax of which is: on the first line you specify the while keyword, then the condition, then the colon. On the next line after the indent you specify the statement to be executed. For all the other cases in which the condition is not true, the operator executes the statements after else. So the story is, while the condition is true, execute the statement 1. For all the other cases, execute the statement after else. Let's test in the IDE. So for that purpose, let's create temperature variable, which has an initial value of, for example, 10 degrees. Let's specify the while statement. So while condition, our condition is temperature is less than 100. Then colon, on the next line, we print the statement showing the temperature. So here we concatenate two strings, temperature is and the temperature integer variable, which we made string. On the next line, we make the temperature variable to be incremented by 10. For all the other cases, we specify the condition print water is boiling, as water may have reached 100 degrees. So let's print the while loop to get the result. So we get all the temperatures and followed by water is boiling. Let's continue to for loop, which is more frequently used than while loop. The basic syntax is for item in items, then colon, on the next line after indent statement to be executed, and then followed by optional else block. Here the items is list range in which the operator can loop over, and if it finds the item in items, it executes the statement. So let's understand the concept by using practical example in the IDE. For that purpose, let's create two lists: name, which has a members Donald, Tim, and Bill, and surname, which has a members Trump, Cook, and Gates. We'll try to use the first for loop on the name variable. For that purpose, we write for e in names, then colon, after that print e. Here the loop goes over the members of the name list and prints the members. So let's see on the console the result. On the console we have all the members of the name list printed. On the next for loop we'll use a range function. Range function gets arguments, the first of which is to start, the second one is to end, and the next one is the step. So we just say start with 0, end with 10, step 2, not including with 10. So when we print, we get from 0 to 8. So 10 is not included here. Let's try another interesting function to be used in loops. Here we have x and y, and we use zip function to merge name and surname lists into tuples, and we print these tuples x and y. So we merge the name and surnames each line with tuples. Let's print to get the result. So on the console we see name and surname merged: Donald Trump, Tim Cook, and Bill Gates. Let's see another useful function to be used in loops, so-called enumerate function. So you pass name list to enumerate function and it returns XY format tuples. Here x is the index for the list member and y is the list member. So 0 for Trump, 1 for Tim, and 2 for Bill, and it returns tuples in this format. Let's print to see the result. So you see 0 Donald, 1 Tim, and 2 Bill result. Our next topic is functions. Functions are a very useful feature in Python and many other programming languages. Its basic syntax in Python is you write def keyword, after that function name, and in brackets the names of arguments, the colon, and after that the code to be executed. You call the function by specifying its name and arguments. Let's see in action. So here we want to define a check ticket function which has a hasTicket argument. We begin by keyword def, write the function name which is check ticket, write the argument name in brackets, after that colon, and on the next line we specify the code to be executed when the function is called. Here we want, if hasTicket has a value of yes, then we want to print enter the club, and also we want the function to return the value of 1. We'll see its main description later. For all the other cases, we want to print go away and return the value 0. So, to call the function, we specify the function name on the next line and pass the argument we want to that function. Here we want to call the check ticket function with the argument of no. Remember that it will return go away, return 0 and print go away. Let's run the code to see the result. Here we see it prints 0 go away and returns 0. We can also use functions as a value for variables. For example, we create x variable and check ticket function with no argument. Let's print x to see the result. Python will print go away, and if we print the x variable value, we get the 0, which was returned by the function. There's another way to declare functions in Python. For example, here we create square of function by typing lambda x. X here is the argument, and after colon we specify the statement to be executed. Here we raise to power of 2. Let's print square of function with a 4 argument. It will return 4 raised to power of 2, which is 16.